Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. This week we have some more silly stuff and other fun topics to talk about. Let's swim around. We're going to figure it out. And today we also have a message to share, which Manatee will take over for me.
Hello. Before we start another discussion in our fishbowl, we want to cover, we have a message to share to our viewers and viewers that just popped in right now, just to go over with this. And we're all going to talk about this. Barracuda, if you want to start.
Yes. Um, we would like to start off by saying, in all of the topics that we can talk about, we are not experts. We do not know any of these things beforehand. We literally discuss the topics and know what it's going to be when we pull out of the majestic fishbowl. So if we say something that's wrong or incorrect, we apologize because we did not plan this.
We, like, like Barracuda said, we don't plan this. We just want to just take this time to just have fun, chat, talk about different topics. There is no intention, or if at all, try to offend anyone. And if we do apologize if we do.
So to lead off with that, a lot of us are in one way or another a part of the LGBTQ plus community, or at the very least, very strong allies. Um, I know there's definitely a lot going on in the world, but as a reminder, we are all human and we are all learning, and I want to encourage us to learn to share information with each other.
No, yeah, none of us care much about what a person is. We just care that you are a person. So we just wanted to create a safe space away from political turmoil, all the hatred that's filling this world, just to have fun. We're just four college guys that met while we were going through our degrees, and we just had fun chatting. We never meant any harm by anything, and we figured, why not let some of this joy be spread to you guys, our viewers? So we decided to create the fishbowl, and the whole premise. No one knows what we're doing. So let's figure out what we're doing for this episode, actually. Barracuda, you got the fishbowl? Will you do the
Yes,
honors?
I Yes, I do. And after that lovely message, let's dive in.
Hey, future Stingray here. Before Barracuda draws from the fishbowl, I want to give everyone a quick heads up about where this topic ends up. We normally try to avoid heavy topics like this, but sometimes conversations go places we don't expect. Around 12 minutes and 15 seconds in, we will talk about sensitive topics including abuse and suicide. If that is something you're not comfortable to hear today, feel free to skip ahead and take care of yourself however you need. And please, if you're having any thoughts of self-harm or suicide, call or text the suicide hotline at 988. You matter. There are people who care about you. Alright, with that said, let's get back to see what Barracuda draws.
Our theme for tonight, ghoul horrors.
Wait,
Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
wait, before we started recording, didn't we just have
Or
a short comment about some, like, having something along these lines?
Go for it.
Like, no, didn't we actually have a short conversation along the, like, oh,
Oh my god,
we're
no, yeah,
not
we did,
ready
we
to
did.
do this kind of topic just yet. Manatee,
wait,
you were the one who said it. You were the one who
I
jumped it
did.
in. Yes, you said it. So,
No,
I can't say I can entirely attest for either of this, but I do remember it happening.
no, he said along the line of he had a horror story of a like that he did not think he could say, so we'd have to blur out the entire story and use
Yes,
oh,
the
that's what I said. That's what I
okay,
said.
I misinterpreted it. Yeah, might
I
as
didn't talk about
well.
school horror. We're talking about what we were talking about.
Huh.
I was like unconventional things, and I'm like
Oh yeah.
thinking to myself, oh wait, all the things I know
Cursed
would not
subject.
be
Cursed
appropriate
subject.
Yeah.
subjects.
That's what we were talking about. Cursed subjects.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh,
That was
That
it.
was.
Yeah. It was cursed subjects.
That's.
Okay.
But
But
speaking of curses,
yeah, still, ironically, school horrors can involve an evil ghost curse.
If I
just like our school in that right, Barracuda.
if I
School was haunted.
yeah, definitely. If
Oh, yeah.
I could recall correctly, this topic was suggested by our lovely Squid.
Oh.
Probably. I wanted to watch more horror movies. I've only seen, to be clear, Cabin in the Woods. I've watched other like spooky films, but
Well,
I want to watch more.
Also,
well,
yes, we know you want to watch horror movies because one of your topics you also suggested, which is in the fishbowl, is watching clips from horror movies and recording our reactions.
Yep. I'll tell you this.
I forgot that I did that. I believe you if you have it written down, but yeah.
I gotta tell you this. I don't know if you know about this, Squid, but the three of us, we were all part of the paranormal club in college. In fact, me and Barracuda were officers in the club. We were helping run it. Manatee.
Really? Oh
yeah,
my god.
Yeah, Manatee was a normal member, but we did paranormal, so things like ghost stories, like those things, like even horror movies like Conjuring, and even sometimes just like some strange magical things like potions were our topic of discussion.
We did brew potions one time during the club.
I don't know where mine went.
I think I wasn't there that time.
You were not.
Cool potion.
No.
You were very upset that you missed that week.
Yes.
Yeah, but I remember our first topic once we got the club going, was the fact that Ghost Hunters, that TV show, had a whole episode dedicated to our college.
Really?
To name
That's
drop
so funny. Oh my god.
To name drop the college, which I will do because so many people go there, the odds of them finding the three of us are slim to none. Me, Barracuda, I'm Barracuda. Me, Manatee, and Stingray all went to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park. The reason why it's such a big deal is because the building itself is an old convent where nuns and monks used to hang out, and has a graveyard and
a catacomb.
Catacombs
on the campus.
I feel like I remember
Manatee
mentioning catacombs one time. That's
he found the entrance.
Oh, I did.
You found the entrance. I think it was like our last semester, and you wouldn't go in there. You wouldn't go in there with me.
No, I went in. I had to beg one of the chefs to let me in because you really weren't supposed to.
No.
The entrance was in one of the kitchens that was in the basement because some of the kitchen classes were in the basement.
Yeah.
This one was next to the walk-in fridge.
Yeah, no.
I had to beg the chef to let me in for just 5 minutes.
Did you take any pictures or videos of that?
No, he took my phone.
Ah.
Oh no.
That would have been something cool to let everyone else see. But
no, he didn't want to get in trouble, so
fair.
He took my phone. And let me just say, just when I went there are bodies down there. That I do know. But where I went to, there are no bodies.
I thought they took the bodies out.
They probably removed some of them that are towards where people can get access to, but deeper in,
the fresh catacombs. They're all across the campus, and some of it going into the woods.
Yeah.
Like they're. Oh, don't even forget that also in the woods near our campus was an old Advantage revolutionary town that got destroyed, including a bunch of Revolutionary era graves.
Yeah. Actually, I think you had a class that walked out to that area a couple times, Manatee.
Oh yeah, it was a fun class.
Yeah, you showed me some of that stuff. Yeah,
you
showed me some of that stuff.
What class did you take that would take you to
archaeology?
Anthropology? Yeah. Oh, right, archaeology. Anthropology was a whole other situation.
But it was also weird.
It sounds like you lived through some things.
Well, here's ironic. Because
That
was a joke. The
uh,
teacher was a joke, and that's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. Well,
anthropology was the anthropology was a nightmare. Archaeology was fun.
did you
Archaeology was very
you took
fun.
it too, Barracuda?
No, I didn't take anthropology
Okay.
or I took archaeology, but I did not take anthropology because it was taught by a teacher that me and Manatee shared. We both disliked this teacher very much. They had a problem with me being autistic. Could be considered a school horror story. They had a problem with me being autistic and
That's not
failed
okay.
me in history. Which, by the
Oh.
way, not to brag, I have never failed a history class. I took AP history in high school. History is because I have almost an eidetic memory when it comes to whatever I read, I memorize.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way I could have failed the history class. Yeah, I failed.
Oh no, Barracuda. No, it was I had the same history. I was in history with that professor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had anthropology with a different person, but that person was just crazy. But the history one, Barracuda ain't wrong. They were interesting.
The sad part is that is not the only teacher I've ever had that completely hated me because I was autistic. I grew up in a very small town. I'm going to start by saying that. And a lot of them were very anti-autistic to the point
Oof.
that one of my principal, little bit of a drop. I grew up in Connecticut. We have something called intermediate school, which is where they didn't, because they were afraid to have like fifth and sixth graders with the elementary school and the middle schoolers. We literally have an entire school like away from them. So through fifth and sixth grade, you were in an intermediate school, a different building. The principal I had during intermediate school was so against people with autism that they tried to force me to be in the special ed classes, even though I was able to be in regular classes.
Hey, it's Future Stingray Pumpkin one last time. This is the part where the talk about suicide starts. If you'd rather not hear that today, please skip ahead to 17 minutes into the video. That way you can keep swimming in safer waters. Now, let's get back to the discussion.
Because they didn't want me to bring down the other students and literally told me that I would be better off killing myself so I wouldn't be a burden on my parents.
That's fucking unhinged and not okay.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, I feel like it's the small towns are going to be the extremes. They're either going to be some of the best, nicest teachers for people with stuff like autism, or they're just going to be the biggest dicks about it.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't grow up in a great town. If you were different, you were hated, and unfortunately, they were okay with LGBTQ, which good, but if you were autistic, God, were you considered a lesser human? Between the principal telling me to go kill myself, daily bullying, which included throwing me in a thorn bush, and the worst part is, there was a cliff like overlooking a river near my house. I used to walk there all the time to just be alone. One time, a group of bullies came to me where I was a cliff, cornered me at the cliff, and was chanting "jump, jump, jump."
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I know our topic was a dark one technically, school horrors, but I feel like we're getting a little too dark.
That is the darkest I'm willing to do.
Yeah.
Yep, that is the darkest I'm willing to go. And
let's just say this: we have, like, as you can see, Barracuda has gone through this stuff, and honestly, this isn't the first that we haven't heard of stuff like this from him. We heard about some other interesting incidents while we were in college. So all of us understand and respect the strength it takes to go through this.
Which is why I would like to end my little bit of my personal horror stories is I apologize if I triggered anybody. As you can tell, I went through some stuff, and I'm still processing that damage to this day. But if I did anything to trigger you or upset you, I apologize. But no, I also went through it, and honestly, talking about it makes it better. So if you're currently struggling with mental health, I beseech you to go talk to somebody because holding it in will cause more damage than you think it will.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
absolutely
know
agree and support that.
if you're listening in, you definitely have heard of the places like BetterHelp or whatever, which were not sponsored. I mean, come on, that would be a great sponsor for us, don't you agree? But that that is some place that actually, yeah, I even in college, I had an incident that I actually had to get myself a therapist. So there's nothing wrong.
It on,
So please, if you feel like you had some things bottled up, just talk it out with somebody, whether it be a friend, a parent, a sibling, or you just need to go, or you need to go through something like BetterHelp for a complete stranger. There's nothing wrong with it.
You know, we talked about this being too deep, but honestly, following our earlier conversation, I think this was the perfect topic to have because I think we more podcasts need to talk about mental health awareness. I
Yeah.
truly believe.
No, yeah. It's like,
I think it's definitely good to normalize it and to talk about it. Um,
mhm,
and thank you both for sharing. I'm sorry you guys had to go through stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, and there's also a bunch of people who go through things that don't get diagnosed necessarily, but there are also some people who get improperly diagnosed with things like ADHD, to where, I'm sorry, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old jumping off the walls doesn't mean they have ADHD. They're just a toddler with all this energy. They might have it, yes, but that's not a sign that they do. I very likely have some form of it, but I have grown up without all that stuff, so I've learned to control it myself. But I
So
feel
that
like
was
I feel like we've gone a little too deep. We should go back to something a little bit more
no.
joking and fun.
I think it needed to get deep
No,
though. In all
I,
honesty,
yeah,
but you are right. Let's go back to a lighter topic.
yeah.
Squid, you got any school horror stories that won't make somebody seek a therapist?
Okay, so less horror story. More, it could have gone bad. It could have become a horror story. But when Manatee and I went to high school, 'cause that's how we know each other was from going to high school.
Yeah,
Um,
three of us.
someone kept setting fire to the school multiple times.
That is
It
true.
got to the point where I made up a song about it called what was it? Manatee, you remember? If you don't, it's okay.
Oh, God.
Squid, are you passing the blame? Were you the someone who kept setting fires? You seem
That
like
would be hilarious,
you
but
seem
it was
like
in
a
fact
fire
not
starter.
me.
Well, you can say it. No one's gonna catch you.
No,
I don't know if it would
Jay.
be a felony, but it would certainly be a crime, and I have committed no crimes as
Manatee,
of right
Actually,
now.
Squid did not.
Manatee, were you about
Actually-
to? Were you about to use the wrong name?
No, of course not. I was about to
Manatee
sing my
very
favorite
skilled.
song,
What are you talking about?
Jeepers.
Okay, okay. I mean, we had Barracuda went off a couple times on a previous episode.
Hey, calling
It was-
myself. I don't know what you're talking
was-
about.
I was tired.
No, I'm not blaming you. No, we're all gonna make that mistake in the future. You just happen to have that happen early on, be the first one, Barracuda. Manatee almost had that happen to him.
I stopped myself, so
Yeah.
I'm good. But I was gonna say that Squid was with me when one went off.
Oh my god! Wait, was it the No, it wasn't the gym
It was
one.
the second
It was a
one.
different The second.
It
What
was
was
the
the second
one
one?
I think was
The
before
lost
we were
and found
supposed to
fire?
leave home. Huh?
Well, somebody they let the lost and found on fire. There's another one where I think they set a garbage
The
can on
trash can?
fire.
I
Yeah.
actually have a fire story myself from high school.
I think you guys went to school with a pyromaniac.
They
no,
were
we
caught.
did.
We don't know who
Oh, they did.
was.
I was like,
They were? That's
They,
shocking.
yeah, to my knowledge, they were caught. Yeah. Well, they added cameras to our school after that, and we also went to we lived in a small town, so
Why didn't your school have cameras?
our school was like really small, like 100 people a class. It wasn't like
It wasn't big.
yeah.
But if we, oh wait, let Stingray say their thing, and then I gotta think about our school because
well,
they got chosen.
this was my sophomore year of high school. It is the second to last Friday, or the final Friday of the being in school if you were a senior, because you had the whole next week off, getting prepped for the graduation ceremony and all that, if you were a senior. So this was the seniors' final day. My first period. No. My last period of the class. My last period was my chemistry class, but a friend of mine who was in band with me, he had it his first period, and I don't know how anyone else's schools did it, but all of our high school teachers had one period where they didn't have to teach. It gave them some time to focus on doing office work, do a quick meeting if they needed. Well, this happened to be that teacher, my chemistry teacher's second period happened to be her off period. And her trash can just spontaneously combusted.
Really?
Yeah, no. And there was a lab, and she's done this lab before. She didn't think anything of it. It's just she didn't do much different. But for some reason, there's some kind of reaction in the trash can that caused it to catch fire on our during our second period of the day. So we are 10-15 minutes into the second period. The fire alarm goes off. We all come out. Then the seniors in band come by another 20 minutes later saying they canceled school because it was a chemical-based fire. They didn't know what they put into the air, so they had to close the whole science and math wing, because the science wing was the floor above the math. That was the only two-story position in the school. So they had to close it because they didn't know how the chemicals would react. So I get back. When we come back on the next Monday, I find out at the end of the day that it was in my chemistry room, my last period. And this joke started going around. My friend who had it first was the one we kept in band. We all said he was the one who started it because he had her first period. But it was just a random thing that caused it. But it's like the seniors' last day basically got cut off before they even got to do anything.
Oh man, it's gotta suck in one end, but
yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. I'm just glad I was driving at that point, because it's just like I got in my car and was home within the next 15 minutes. It wasn't even it was maybe barely 10 o'clock by the time I got home. But
win.
But
wait, how far did you?
I was
10 a.m. I was
like 10
a.m.
I did
10 a.m., not 10 p.m.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
Going
10
quite
in
a hell
the morning.
No, that's a horror story in itself. Oh, what time do you leave school? 10 p.m.
Yeah, no. I'll say this. There are times I'm not the biggest on horror or thriller and stuff, but there are times I just get in the mood for it, and I will find these channels that just have like an hour-long video of a detailed description, and some of them are like, oh, here's the school bus driver. He can't stop. And if he sees these certain things happen, he has to follow these certain rules, or else everyone on the bus, including him and the kids, are going to die. Like, it's a weird monster thing to where they even skip the houses if one of these shows up. And all the kids are used to it, but not the bus driver, because this is his first day. It's so weird and creepy. But Vanity, what were you going to say earlier? Oh, who put something in the podcast?
Well, it was about school. It's school related, but it's more like small town relatable.
You said the word thriller, and like I had to put the video of the thriller music.
That's weird. No, even though, well, not to mention, well, actually, our school is also next to a cemetery.
That part.
That did not help either way.
I live.
Well, I was gonna say, you what?
I live next to a cemetery. I live across the street from a cemetery, and I live next door to a funeral home.
Huh.
Interesting. I was gonna say that lovely. Even though the horror stories are real, however, in a small town, for all my small towns out there, the police logs are hilarious.
I showed up in the police log once. I did not commit a crime, to be clear, but I called the police with the help of I didn't call the police. My mom called the police to help with a giant turtle, and they didn't show up. And then somebody else joined us to find a giant turtle, and they still didn't show up.
Why did you call the police for a giant turtle? Just pick up
because
the
the turtle wanted to cross the street, and I don't know why we thought to call the police. I wasn't really part of the police conversation. I just happened to be there. But yeah, no, it was a time. It was a time.
That's like,
It's
Also,
time.
how do you get access to police logs?
They put on the
Hard-
news. They put on the newspaper. It is so funny.
yeah, no, certain things will get posted. Like my father, he's a doctor, and a few months
Mhm.
after they dealt with this one drunken driver and arrest that they had to take to the hospital,
Oh,
my
very sad.
father was in the video as the attending doctor in there, but they couldn't do anything because she was way too aggressive. But I'll tell you, your police log story reminded me of something that happened before I went to college. Who here is familiar with tannerite?
I don't know what that is.
I've
I don't
never
know.
heard of it.
It's a type of explosive, essentially. It's a concussive force. It's not it doesn't have heat. What it's used for is people in here in Texas will put a small bit
Mhm.
out and they'll shoot at it and you'll create a nice sizable boom so you know you hit it. It's fun to shoot, but you will only
Mhm.
use small portions.
Okay.
This time we are just around the house. It's like 11:30 or something. I think it's near New Year's or something. And
Mhm.
well, my dad's going across the street to talk to the neighbor, and then all of a sudden, boom! This
Oh, geez.
loud boom shakes it. It reverberates and through our chest, and it shakes stuff in the house. My dad, who was outside,
Mhm.
dropped down into the ditch and could feel it through the ground.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So about a mile and a half, 2 miles by the crow flies, there were these people having a party, and once this boom came off, everybody was calling the police. Everyone was wondering what it was. It turns out that party, they had like a pound or two of tannerite, and they just set it there and shot all of it at once. This
Oh, God.
and it was so loud. You could feel it and hear it for miles. From
That's
1 pound of,
insane.
it's like 1 maybe 2 pounds of tannerite. Tannerite gets some powerful stuff, but it's not necessarily the hardest to get a hold of, and it's not necessarily the most
Mhm.
destructive. Most of the time when people get it, it's only given in small amounts. Like a pound is usually, I think, the biggest amount you can get in one instance. And
Wow.
people usually will take pieces out, put them in like cans or whatever, and shoot the can, and you'll have a nice sizable boom, a little bigger than a firecracker. I would say probably
Okay.
around the size of 3 to 4 firecrackers that went off simultaneously. So a good sized little pop, but nothing crazy or dangerous as long as you're not within a foot of it. But
Still sounds nerve-wracking though, regardless.
but-
Oy.
the police had to post to stop calling them because they know about it. They had to make that post within 10 minutes of the boom going off. It was such a strange event. I think it was like a bachelor party or something, a wedding party. It was like some kind of big party where people were drunk.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, wait a minute. I have a story.
Mhm.
I was never here. However, we're talking about school
Hi,
horror
John
stories.
Cena. We can't see you.
I was never here, but I have overheard it from someone that
Gotcha.
there apparently was this party, and this girl was having a party while her parents were away. And apparently, a lot of people had too much to drink, and she got very sick. So they called the ambulance. They're all underage. Everyone,
Oh.
they call the cops though. So
Mhm.
the ambulance came, cops came. The emergency responder was her father.
Oh.
Oh no.
So imagine getting the call. It's like, wait a minute, that house, and the daughter, who's not really great, just sees the person who's trying to treat her as her dad. It's like, well,
No way she can hide that.
Yep.
I think that's a horror story in itself. That realize if you're gonna do something, make sure that you do it responsibly, and make sure that if you do get caught, make sure
It's
that
not your.
parents
Make sure it's not your police officer parent that's the one that
are
catches you.
or
Oof.
first response.
Well,
They
God.
make me so. I feel like in all the police logs from our town, they were all like relatively whatever. But it's interesting when you get stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or that's more of a story, but still.
Horror stories are kind of.
It.
I know childhood horror stories.
Oh yeah, there.
Mm.
That one.
I remember.
I'm trying to think.
I
I
actually.
have one actually.
I actually remember one thing about going through a haunted house at an amusement park. Um,
Mm-hmm.
It's Six Flags Over Texas. It There's a few in Texas, but they have their holiday themes. Horror in the Park is their October Halloween theme. And I was doing Cub Scouts at the time, and there was a horror. They had a special horror attraction, a haunted house, set off in the back for Cub Scouts. My mother is not the one you want to go through a haunted house with. She will specifically put herself in front of the pack, and gets to a scary part, she'll just block everybody. She loves all the horror stuff from it, and she is willing to, because she knows it's fake. She grew up as she grew up country, just like, you know what, deal with it. Your angel, deal with it. But then she also became a nurse at Cook's Children and worked as a paramedic on an ambulance. So she is very used to and dull to the sense of blood and gore, because she has seen it in real life, so all the fake stuff doesn't hit her as hard. But
Okay.
so she's already. I hate horror. I'm not a fan of horror. I watch channels like Dead Meat to watch get my information over horror movies because they do it in a joking manner. But I also kind of like, oh, I remember seeing commercials for that. I didn't want to watch it, but there's some stuff in there I wanted to kind of understand and know about. That's a good channel for me. But that little pop-up haunted house there, at the end, well, I'll say this, at the beginning, there's a guy there who is regulating you, telling you when to go in, and he says at the end there's his brother dressed up, ready to jump out and scare you. Already, now the anticipation's there. I forget about that for a second when I finally see the exit. We start moving, and all of a sudden, the tunnel turns fiery red as this maniac with a chainsaw and a skull for a head that's on fire pops out of the wall. Just loud chainsaw. I nearly peed my pants at that time. I was like 7 or 8. I don't know if I've ever ran as fast. My parents couldn't find me for a few minutes because they didn't realize how far I ran and how fast I ran out of there.
I don't blame you for running. I was a weird kid. I don't know if that would have scared me or not, but
I
can definitely see it.
I remember what I said when he popped out. I crunched down, Calvin and Phil, and said, "Please don't kill me." And then I saw a little piece next to him by his leg that was a little bit wider than anywhere else, and I just was already through it before I even realized. Before I realized I was already outside of it before I fully registered that opening was there.
Oh god.
Ever since then, I've kind of avoided going to that park during October.
That's fair. I can respect that.
I would go there at least once to experience it. I think one time I did go into a haunted house and I was so polite, and they're like, they were jumping around like, oh, thank you. Oh, thanks. It's like they're offering like a separate head. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm already eaten already. I don't walk right out of here. It's like, keep going.
Yeah. Although, I think I remember a story that Barracuda told us in college that is arguably creepier and scarier than anything we have done. Barracuda, remember when you went through the
Oh,
remember when you went through the asylum that was only like half a mile away from the campus?
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, on top of freaking the graveyard, the catacombs,
the catacomb.
and our thing being an old nunnery.
Jesuit
We were
seminary.
we were down the street from an asylum that, yes, many of us went into and explored. I was the one. We were meant to do it as the club, but some people were kind of afraid. Which, to be fair, we'd be
Yeah.
breaking the law. It's breaking and entering.
Yeah, it wasn't something we could officially do, so it was
It couldn't
hard to
be a
get it
club
set up.
activity.
Yeah, it was hard to get
Well,
it set
yeah,
up
Oh,
to do
no.
properly.
I would assume your school is a federally funded institution, and if you're doing something like that, it could also get the school
Well,
in trouble.
The school actually has an international branch. It has the one in
Okay.
Singapore. I campus in Singapore. But the school is actually relatively small. It has 3 different campuses in the U.S., but
Well, I know
one
of them
can
is in
only have
Connecticut, right?
75 students accepted per year.
That's the one in
San-
Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
right?
it's the San Antonio. That's actually the one I originally applied to and got in through. So, arguably, I took the hardest route to get into the college. And then I made it, and then I immediately transferred to New York campus before the first semester even started.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
To be fair, it's been said that New York campus is the best campus.
well, it's the only one that offers the bachelor's program.
That's true.
California has its wine course, which is its special thing. But if you California and San Antonio only do up to the associates.
Yeah, I know. But I have a relative who went, and I remember the way he described it was, I'm forgetting which branch he went to. I'll have to ask again, but I now know more.
Anyway, back to it. Yes,
Yeah.
the asylum was very creepy. It's torn down now, sadly, but it was very creepy, and I don't know, like, it's always weird. I've been in abandoned schools, abandoned hospitals, I've been in a lot of abandoned buildings, because, you know, growing up in a small town, you just go into abandoned stuff.
Why not?
What else you gotta do?
Can I just say, it is so weird because it seems like, because these things never shut down just suddenly. You always get a heads up. But I don't know it's because of laziness or because it's just hard to. All of these abandoned buildings usually have tons of stuff left over.
Yeah.
That makes it look like they just literally up and vanished. Like when I went to this, there were still papers, gurneys, medical equipment, entire file cabinets filled with files about old patients.
Yeah, and I remember the portion you told. Didn't you make it up to like the 3rd or 4th floor? You weren't on the bottom floor when you.
No, I made it all the way to the top, and I decided to say, "Screw that! I'm going away," because I found where they did the electroshock treatment, and the room just felt not great.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
I remember you stopped in another office at one point, and you looked through one of the files, and you said it after seeing the dark stuff from it. I don't remember what it was. I just remember it was unsettling. You put it back down and walked away. But as you reached the door, you turn back and see it on the ground because you heard it fall to the exact spot you were just reading.
It wasn't good. It wasn't a good file either. Again, going to luckily this isn't too dark because this is just history. Yeah. This asylum was open in the 1920s.
Okay.
During the 1820s, a lot of things that were not mental illnesses were considered mental illnesses, including being gay. The file I was reading was that of a lesbian who was forced in there by her family to try to treat it. Let's just say the treatments that those mental health facilities used for people like that are not good, and I never wish anything to happen to what this lady went through. I will not be saying her name. I will not be saying anything, because what she went through was horrible, and I don't wish that upon anybody.
Yeah, I don't think you even told us the name when you told us back in college.
I didn't, and out of respect, I never will.
No.
And I truly, a part of me truly wishes to this day that I took that file with me so that I could burn it.
Yeah, but honestly,
No, it's really like
I think
it's really important to kind of look at.
Yeah, but you just booked it
Okay,
out.
you go first.
You just booked it away once you saw it was open to the exact part of the file even you were looking at.
As soon as I saw her file on the floor again, I ran. But Squid, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, like, it's really important. I feel like we hear a lot of folks older than us talk about these kinds of things didn't exist when I was a kid, and like facilities like these are the reason why, or you just didn't really see it in people the same way we might do now. I'm just saying this because there's a film on Netflix that I recommend looking into that's about disability rights called, and this is the name of the film, to be clear, it is called Crip Camp. It's a really good, informative documentary on how disability rights were pushed for in the U.S. And I'm unfortunately forgetting the name of like one of the big activists who was a part of it. But she was a wheelchair user and talked about like how people couldn't like move on their own. They couldn't like even leave the house or use the train because there was no accommodations, which is unfair for everyone because at some point in our lives we all do become disabled. Like we get older and like our bones change and our bodies change. We just need more help. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just wanted to say that if you're curious on more rights and some more history, give it a check it out. Give it a watch.
And for those who want to look at the history of the mental asylum, I do apologize. We don't actually have a name for it because there was no signs or anything ever for this place. No. We just called it the Toast Building.
Toast Building?
It looked like it had gone through a fire, and there were like multiple buildings that were actually fully burnt down. Some of them were fully burnt down.
Yes, there were a lot of properties that were like fully burnt down, but that's not the reason why we called it Toast. It was because spray painted on the side of it was graffitied Toast.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Which
that's a good reason to call it that.
Which, by the way, I just want to point out to everyone. The graffiti on that building, the one that says Toast, the graffiti I see like on the sides of buildings, on the side of bridges, how do people do that? Like, are they climbing these things and spray painting it? Because if so, what type of balls do you have to climb that high just to spray paint something?
Yeah.
It really is crazy. People do some like insane art like that, but
ironically,
I would assume like a climbing harness or something.
Ironically, the only thing I can think of that has any kind of evidence on how that is done is a Christmas movie.
Okay, which Christmas movie?
Tim Allen's Santa Claus 2, when Charlie is graffitiing the gym, he comes in from a window on the ceiling. That's the only thing I can think of is either they have a whole like harness set up like that to either come through a window or go from the top of the building. That's the only thing I could think of that would have them come get as high as they do.
That makes sense, but my question is, how did somebody able to sneak? Because here's the thing, that when I went to the asylum, there was no way to get to the roof, by the way. Like, the third floor was really the highest you can kind of go to. So somehow they got to the roof. They were able to set up a ladder, because it was big, because here's the thing. If it was just the word written Toast, you wouldn't have seen it. But you could literally see this thing from the street. It was like the entire half of the wall was written in Toast. Yeah. So they had to bring a ladder up there to do it. So they were able to get onto the ceiling, or get onto the roof, bring a ladder, and have enough time to literally spray paint the word Toast without getting caught.
Yeah, and just so you know, that this thing wasn't really right up against the highway, the road. It was almost I would say, not quite, but close to a quarter-mile back away from it, with just grassy, hilly terrain.
Oh, yeah.
And in case you're ever wondering, I only ever went to the main asylum. I never went into like the burnt buildings that were on the side. You couldn't pay me to go into those. The asylum felt like so evil that I nearly threw up the first time I went in there. I couldn't even step near the burnt buildings. I don't know what they were, but it was enough for me to be like, no, thank you. No, 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 no.
Entirely fair. It's good to know where your limits are, so you
Yeah.
can back out.
You know, what would it take you to have if we? Never mind, I forgot. It's all torn down. I was about to say, what would it take you to go back there and do it? But like, now they said they already torn down to create a hotel. I think.
It was
Yeah.
going to be a hotel. It was going to be a hotel, but it didn't. Now it's a plaza with like a grocery store and a few other things.
Yeah.
When I went to the grocery store a few times because I used to live in the area after I graduated college and
Mhm.
stuff. Every single time I went to the grocery store, my headphones didn't work.
Either
That
could
is
have.
ominous.
Like
Well-
I would go in with my headphones, and then the moment I was on the property, my
Mhm.
headphones picked up static, and it was only until I was off the property that my headphones stopped working. And it wasn't just where the asylum was; it was specifically where the grocery store that was part of the asylum, which it's been a while, so like I could be exaggerating, but I'm 99% sure where the grocery store specifically is where they did the electroshock treatment.
Ah, sounds fun.
I feel like that grocery store would be kind of haunted now.
Ooh.
Like you were
I wouldn't
saying.
be
But wait, what if
surprised.
that's also maybe where the Shadow Man is?
When you drink lean, you meet the Shadow Man.
No, I'm talking about
Oh.
the Shadow Man that Barracuda, Manatee, and our friend that we mentioned in a previous episode, Duck, met while driving to the store from the campus.
No, we weren't driving. We walked to
Oh,
McDonald's.
you walked.
We walked to McDonald's. I don't remember why. We were hungry, and we picked McDonald's. I think because it was late. Manatee, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
We
Yeah.
didn't walk to McDonald's.
No, y'all. I
We-
think y'all walked to like Stop and Shop or something. But either
We
way,
had to
y'all
walk
were.
to Stop and Shop.
But either way, y'all were walking there, and you came back, and it told me about it, and it was like 11:30 when you came back and told me about this at night.
But here's the thing. That's the opposite. Stop and Shop was where the opposite. It's on the opposite side. Like.
Yeah.
But no, me, Manatee, and Duck all got followed by a weird shadow man. Like, we all saw it following us and did not
Who
feel.
there?
Yeah.
You and Duck kept saying it. I could not see anything.
But you felt it. I remember you said you didn't feel good.
Well, I did feel good. It was in the middle of the night. It was dark.
Yeah, there was something up with that campus because I know in the first semester.
It was hot.
Yeah, no, within my first semester, actually, probably within my first couple weeks, I heard my name in my room, and this is all, I was in my room by myself, and I heard my name, and it sounded like my grandfather, who had passed that summer. My grandfather passed at the beginning of the summer, and we started it the following September or August. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I think that entire area was messed up, and you can't blame it. Like,
No.
put aside, like, if you believe in ghosts or not. Like, everyone has different things. I definitely believe it, but only because I have my stories that I've dealt with. But whether you believe in ghosts or not, you have to believe in feelings and energy. And just so much evil happened in that area that it's just ripe with it.
Well,
You
also,
have
don't forget what's right up against that school. The Hudson River, which theorized to have how many dead bodies dumped in it?
you have the Hudson River, you have the woods where a battle happened, you have an abandoned grave, you have a regular graveyard, you have a convent, there were known to be witch burnings in the area, you have the insane asylum, you have multiple bad things have happened in that area.
I'll
So-
say, winter was definitely the creepiest portion of it because that's when all the trees lost their leaves. And granted, it had more effect on me because here in Texas, trees don't lose their leaves like that.
Really?
No, we have our trees do lose leaves and stuff, but every tree losing their leaf like that? No.
That's normal.
No, not down in Texas.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, that's not how it is down in Texas. We do get plenty of trees with no leaves here and there, but most trees still have some foliage on them, even if it's only half the amount of leaves as it does during the spring and summer. There's still leaves on it. So, seeing all those branches completely bare and covered in snow was both mystical and amazing looking, but eerie feeling at the same time. And I don't know if that also was partially from all the other stuff.
Going back to Paranormal Club real quick, something creepy. I never encountered it myself, but according to one of our members, they could have sworn there was a Wendigo in the woods because they could have sworn.
No.
I was also going to say that word is particular to native folks. We might want to leave that one out.
That's all I'm going to say.
I don't think it necessarily is an issue, but who said? I don't remember anyone saying that.
I don't recall their names. This has been a while. All I know is that they would swear up and down. And to be fair, the person who said it was of Native American descent.
Okay, then I'll let it be. But I'm just saying it's like from what I've heard, but
yeah.
I'm not giving any details about like how they believed it. I'm not gonna do I'm not even gonna go into stories of them. If you're curious about what the heck they are, look it up. But they swore up and down there was one in the woods. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, there's a game, Dead by Daylight, or no, Until Dawn. It's Until Dawn.
There it is. Because I'm like, I played that game, and when you said that, it gave me those flashbacks, and like those things. Yeah, playing that game was just terrifying.
Yeah, Until Dawn. The actual creature in the game of Until Dawn is a Wendigo. It's not the traditional depiction of it, but it follows the same core premise of a human being being stuck in a northern cold mountains and having to resort to less than preferable methods of survival.
I want to cut it here because, as Squid said, that's very inclined into Native American culture, and I do not want to insult them.
Not trying to.
We can always do more research afterwards, but I'm just gonna ask me. We put a pin in it for now. That's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I went a little bit probably more than intended, but
that's okay.
Again.
Because eventually we will get into monsters and stuff. I believe that is something in here.
Mm-hmm.
When we get into that discussion, I would like to avoid at all possible regional monsters. As much as I am fascinated with them, I will not be discussing any yokai because I don't think I could do it justice as someone compared to of actual Japanese descent.
Fair, but yeah, that's fair. But there are also some things that are cryptids in the equivalent of yokai, the American cryptids that are like the Jersey Devil, the Mothman. Honestly, I think
cryptids are also in this thing.
Yeah.
But
we can always talk about SCPs. Those are pretty interesting to talk about.
Oh.
Also in the fishbowl.
Yes, win.
Yeah.
I put a lot of stuff in the fishbowl.
If I remember correctly, when we initially put stuff down, there was 30 to 40 different topics on our first session of brainstorming topics.
I think between all of us and future ones we came up with, I think I have 50 topics, which it's officially been about 50 to 60 minutes now. This is getting quite a long episode. I would like to end that if any of our viewers would like to submit an idea for a topic, comment below if you're on YouTube. I do not know how you make comments on Spotify. And if it's a good topic that won't cause massive problems and won't cause us to want to strangle one another, aka no one suggests we play Monopoly.
We have done that in college, and we nearly strangled each other then.
Don't you
And
dare do
Tom-
this to me.
I thought
Absolutely.
Manatee was gonna straight up strangle Duck that
Wait,
one
we
time.
could play online Uno at some point.
I was.
Yeah,
But
we
he
could.
is a fool for letting him do
Yeah.
what he did.
Honestly, we could take some suggestions of some online game things like Uno or golf with friends or whatever.
Who can
Strip
play
poker.
solitaire the fastest?
We should play strip poker.
God.
No.
That's
We could do
hilarious.
something else poker, like how many things can you throw out your window poker?
Can I throw my bed out the window?
If you can manage it, then you win.
Thank you.
You have to do it by yourself.
You know what?
No help. No one
I will give
outside
you
help.
$5 to win.
Easy.
Why would you throw your bed out the window? If we continue going, this will be like having a 2-hour episode. Any ending words and before we say goodnight, everybody?
It's been great chatting. I think our topic for tonight was pretty interesting. I got to learn a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we went to school and we had horrors, and
Yep.
the topic was school horrors. So we talked about both things and other things.
And we talked about mental health, which I think was very good.
Yes.
I
it
think
was.
today was a very
we'll
good
talk about that.
This was definitely a fun, productive one that covered all the bases. Let people know that we're just here to bring fun, enjoyment to anyone who wants to watch or listen in. But also,
That's amazing.
we're just dumb guys just having fun.
I wish I could dumb high five all of you, but I
Yeah.
can't.
You know?
virtual high five.
Yay!
But that's where we'll end it all for tonight. Have a good night, everybody. Drink water. Seek a therapist if you need it. And last but not least, love yourself.
Love yourself like we love our own. You are our fishy friends.
I will eat you.
Well, squid is actually pretty tasty.
Oh,
I
come
didn't
on.
say
We
I'd
were
eat
gonna
me.
end
I
on
said I'd
such
eat you.
We were gonna end on such a nice note.
I can cut off this last little bit if we want.
No, now
It's
we
okay.
have.
We're good. We're good.
Because it's
I will say
funny.
a proper goodbye. It's been lovely chatting with y'all, and I hope you enjoyed listening.
No, we have to keep it in because it's funny. But no, I'm going to give you a freaking wedgie, Squid, next time I see you for that.
Me in what underwear? I'm kidding.
Well, he is. Oh God. Okay,
All
okay.
right.
I'm cutting it here. Okay,
Okay.
quit. I'm cutting it here. Good night, people. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, Squid will have some underpants by then.